Hey ballers, Squiggles here, bringing you a game. This one is between WhiteRa and NightEnD. Yes, indeed, a Protoss versus Protoss on Nerazim Crypt, one of the newer maps in the map pool. You can see here in the middle of the map we have 4 Zelnaga watchtowers accessible by these little ramps. And if you controlled all 4 of those, my wow, you would have. Whoa, there's a huge area in the middle of the map that you can see. That'd be crazy sauce. Absolutely crazy. All right, as this match goes ahead and starts, I want to let you guys know that I just found out apparently the FXO International Tournament that I usually cast on Saturday is not going to be happening this Saturday because the MLG is going on. So tune in, watch MLG, enjoy yourselves. The Korean King of the Hill will still be going on as far as I know. So go ahead and tune in for that. That means that Subscriber Saturday is going to start at noon my time. That is 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So you can go ahead and do the math for wherever you live. Yes, that I don't know what else to say. That is it. Okay, it looks like NightEnD going to be going ahead and is going to be scouting exactly the wrong way actually. And it looks like WhiteRa is going to be scouting the exactly right way. Yay, go WhiteRa. So, first little battle won by WhiteRa, not the biggest deal in the world. And as this probe gets into NightEnd's base, I think he will have a decent idea of where WhiteRa is simply because of the timing. You can see he's checking this spot down here. Nope, nothing there. WhiteRa going to be running in here and being like, oh, hello, how are you doing? And looks like he's going to be running in here doing a little bit of harass, just a teeny little bit. Not even doing any damage, really. Just takes. Oh, never mind. Did get some damage off on that guy. Nicely done. Not losing all of his shields. And seeing exactly what's going on, seeing how many pylons there are, seeing that cybernetics core going ahead and going down. And now this probe is going to run over here and be like, oh, I see a pylon. And this pylon, I like positioning of this pylon. If he needs to build anything, he can. And it also gives him great line of sight of like all of this. But he has all of his buildings back here, so if there's a big push coming and he has buildings here, they won't just get sniped. So I like that by WhiteRa. Nice building placement, yes indeed. Getting his second assimilator, it looks like NightEnD getting his second assimilator as well as their cybernetics core finishes. Looks like NightEnd's cybernetics core finishing a bit ahead of WhiteRa's actually. So let's go ahead and check the units tab. We can see WhiteRa is ahead a probe, and that is why he got that extra probe, and NightEnD got his cybercore down a little bit earlier. It looks like both of them going for the stalker. Both of them skipping the zealot, I do believe. Yes, indeed. We still are just on probes at this point. And what kind of builds are we going to see coming out of these guys? It's pretty open at this point. It could be anything. So we're going to have to wait and see. It looks like these stalkers are going to be out, so they're going to chase away the probes. And as these probes leave, actually, both players can see each other's probes. As the probes leave, the stalkers come out to deny that scouting. We are going to see the tech go down, I do believe. Both of them floating a little bit of money as they try to get their tech out without being scouted. And it looks like WhiteRa going to be going ahead and going for that robo facility. Yes, indeed. So he's going to be going for a robo. And it looks like a couple more gateways being added on for NightEnD. So 3 gate, it looks like, for NightEnD, and a 1 gate robo. I'm expecting a 2nd gate. There we go. 2 gate robo coming down for... Ooh, and there's a Twilight Council going down for dark for NightEnD. There we go. I don't know why I said dark. There's nothing even close. That's dark. Okay, this is night. Yes, but it looks like he could be going for the 3 blink stalkers or a 3 gate stalker aggression versus a 2 gate robo. So it looks like there is going to be a observer coming out first. He is going to see the stalker amount being huge. He's also going to see the, well, if he does see, he needs to go over there and scout this Twilight Council. You can see Blink is already being researched, chrono boosting out, and with chrono boost, Blink finishes quite quickly actually. A lot of stalkers making their way across the map already for NightEnD, trying to jockey for that good position that he needs. Pylon going down in the middle, and it is going to be up to WhiteRa to defend. You see he does have this observer out now, going to be flying over here, is going to see these stalkers and be like, okay, got some stalkers. Going to see 3 more stalkers, and that could be the giveaway. he's going to be like, oh, wow, 6 Stalkers. He's going to try to chase these Stalkers off, but now 6 Stalkers coming up here. WhiteRa's probe is going to go down, and WhiteRa, morphing in a few more Stalkers of his own, does have 6 as well, plus the Sentry. So if he gets a good force field, then that could be awesome, or a Guardian Shield, but I think the NightEnD is going to wait, actually, until this blink is done. It looks like WhiteRa does have out an Immortal. Bam, that Immortal is going to be so good if he can keep it alive, and NightEnD needs to go ahead and snipe that Immortal. That's pretty important. Here comes down his second pylon as blink finishes. More Stalkers rallying in, so 9 Stalkers now for NightEnD, and here he goes. 9 Stalkers versus 6 Stalkers, a Sentry, and an Immortal. Looks like a second Immortal is on the way. It is not being corner boost out quite yet, and here they come. Oh, great blink in there. They're going to be focusing on this Immortal. The Immortal is going to go down, but I don't know if he actually has enough Stalkers now. It's Stalker on Stalker, and we have quite a bit. Oh, more blink Stalkers blinking up here, and it looks like WhiteRa could be in trouble. He has more Stalkers blinking in himself, and now these Stalkers are going to be focusing, firing each other down. Yes, indeed, and this Immortal is almost out. WhiteRa needs to hold out for just a little bit longer, and the Immortal is out. So with this Immortal out, it looks like NightEnD will have to back off, at least temporarily. Does have a whole bunch more Stalkers and able to keep some of these alive that probably should have died, so nice job by him. And WhiteRa just does not have a lot of Stalkers of his own. Looks like he's going to be getting one more right now, but he needs to be really careful with this Immortal, because with this blink, as NightEnD already showed, he can blink up there and focus down that Immortal so fast, and the Immortal is really what's going to keep WhiteRa in this. You can see getting another Immortal right now, throwing in a Zealot as well, and looks like NightEnD has 3 Zealots as well. Going to be blinking up here and focusing on this Immortal again. Immortal is going to fall yet again. Probe is being pulled by WhiteRa, just a couple. And WhiteRa now with the superior Zealot count is going to, I think, push him away again as this next Immortal falls out. Yes, indeed. NightEnD, their supplies are actually very, very close right now, as both of them continue to warp in units as fast as possible. So, I mean, NightEnD is not out of this yet, but WhiteRa, you know, looking decently good. Does still have out an Immortal and needs to get another one. If he can get out a second Immortal, then he will pretty much, that will be the end of this attack by NightEnD. Looks like NightEnD going to be pushing in yet again. These probes still here, just now going back and just going to be getting some shots off. There is the one Zealot for WhiteRa, which is going to make these Stalkers micro just a little bit more than they would like to. Looks like a couple more Stalkers warping in for NightEnD, and he is like, okay, this is the time for me to go ahead and attack. And yes, indeed it is. You can see more Stalkers running in now. This second Immortal is not quite out yet. There is one Immortal and a couple of Zealots. These Zealots need to get in front. WhiteRa trying to spread his units out, and he does have nice vision of what's going on because of this Observer. He can see the attack coming. Looks like, oh, a Sentry as well. Will not have enough for Guardian Shield. Could get a Force Field off, but with Blink, that will be not all that great, really. And, oh, a second Immortal is out, so WhiteRa does have the 2 Immortals, and now he is going to move, and that is going to be NightEnd's opportunity to go ahead and run away without losing everything. It looks like he might run in here just a little bit, and got to be careful, that Immortal. It looks like he's actually focusing down on Immortal. Immortal has to be really careful. He's going to try to blink. And the Immortal barely survives, and actually so does this Blink Stalker, who blinks farther ahead just so he won't die. But now WhiteRa, after holding down in super baller boss mode, he is going to be moving out around the map and trying to pick off these pylons and trying to get NightEnD back to his base. So feeling pretty good there. And gets the cancel on those warp-ins. Yes, indeed. NightEnD going to be blinking away defensively. A couple of his Stalkers are very, very low on health. A couple more in the yellow. So his Stalkers have been softened up just a little bit. Blinking forward, actually. Wow, that was an aggressive blink forward. And NightEnD now is going to be pushing out as well. He has his own Observer now. But there are 2 Immortals out for WhiteRa, and those Immortals are going to do absolutely amazing amounts of damage to the Blink Stalkers of NightEnD. NightEnD really needs to micro perfectly here if he has any chance of keeping this alive. He does have a nice amount of Stalkers and now getting out his own Immortals. So Blink Stalkers versus a non-Blink Stalker army in a bit with Immortals. WhiteRa does have the superior Immortal count right now. Looks like he is adding on his own Twilight Council. So we could be seeing WhiteRa trying to go for NightEnd's tech now and NightEnD going for WhiteRa's tech. So we could end up with pretty much the exact same thing yet again. It looks like WhiteRa going to be adding on another gateway, going to be up to 4 gates. And NightEnD is going to go ahead and expand, staying on these 3 gates for a little bit longer and throwing down an Expo. So he's going to be trying to push, trying to be aggressive, because this aggressiveness will allow him to get this expansion up pretty much harassment-free. You can see a couple of units just chilling for NightEnD down here as he wants to use these mobility of the Blink Stalker in conjunction with this observer to maybe blink up here and do some damage. But it looks like WhiteRa is wise to that, and he is going to be positioning his units along the edge of this cliff so that NightEnD can do no such thing. Now it looks like NightEnD is going to be looping around this way and trying to see if he can run up the ramp. No, that is not going to work, as there is quite a few units for WhiteRa out right now. And look at this, supply is dead even. Wow, let's go ahead and check the army tab really quick. You can see that NightEnD actually is 3 probes ahead, which means that WhiteRa has a slightly bigger army, but I don't know, man. It is so super close. But somehow NightEnD able to just sneak in a couple extra probes. His economy is going to be just ever so slightly better. And with this extra Nexus coming down, his economy is going to start really going crazy. So, yeah, it looks like WhiteRa knows it, and he's going to go ahead and try to expand himself, maybe. Throwing down this pylon first of all, and then I expect an expansion to follow soon afterwards. Okay, whew. Well, it has slowed down a little bit, but that was a crazy exchange between WhiteRa and NightEnD. WhiteRa really holding down and NightEnD putting on a ton of pressure. Okay, now WhiteRa has Blink finished. He is getting, it looks like NightEnD is getting charge, and WhiteRa does not have charge yet. He does have Blink for his Zealots, though. He does have 2 Immortals. One of the Immortals is severely damaged. It looks like 2 Immortals out for NightEnD as well, although they are full. These Stalkers by NightEnD are just going to be keeping tabs on the army of WhiteRa. As WhiteRa pushes across the field, NightEnD is going to be retreating and linking up his forces yet again, has Zealots on the way, and now NightEnD needs to just kind of delay for as long as possible, try to get this charge to finish, because if these Zealots, he has a lot of Zealots, if charge finishes, but it looks like WhiteRa is going to push in right before the timing, and these Stalkers are going to be blinking back, trying to do a lot of damage, and these Zealots are just absorbing a crazy amount of damage. You can see most of all the fire that's happening is going onto the Zealots, and here we go now. It looks like WhiteRa with a little bit of a supply deficiency. Oh, a 3rd Immortal for NightEnD comes out, and these Immortals are absolutely doing crazy amounts of damage as 1 Immortal goes down for NightEnD, 2 Immortals go down for NightEnD, but WhiteRa is out. All the Immortals are dead now, and if we take a look at the army supply as this goes, we can see that it looks like WhiteRa actually has the bigger army, rallying in additional Stalkers. It's going to come down to Stalker Blink Micro here. Are they going to be able to blink back in time? And it looks like WhiteRa blinking forward now offensively is absolutely crushing through the Stalkers of NightEnD. Here come out the probes with their tasers to see if they can hold on at all, but now WhiteRa just blinking back defensively, keeping all of these Stalkers alive. Look at the health of these Stalkers. They should all be dead, but because of WhiteRa's significantly better micro, Blink Stalker micro, he is able to just keep all those Stalkers alive. It looks like NightEnd's expansion is going to be under pressure. It may indeed fall. It looks like NightEnD is desperately trying to get out another Immortal, warping in more Stalkers as much as he possibly can, but you know what? There's just too much stuff right now for WhiteRa, doubling the supply of NightEnD, who was looking so strong in the early game, but WhiteRa able to barely hold in the early game, and now just coming back with a significant unit advantage. It looks like this Immortal will go ahead and pop out now, and WhiteRa actually just used Blink, but he will be focusing down this Immortal, and as this Immortal finishes, there we go, it is now down. These Zealots charged in and did some damage, but they were not able to do enough, and now the Zealots of WhiteRa are going to be chasing everything back. There's the GG, well played. So NightEnD goes down to WhiteRa in an epic PvP. Wow, great play by WhiteRa, just holding down like a boss right here and pushing back across the map slowly and getting NightEnD, because WhiteRa stayed on one base. That's really what it was. And look at this. Look how close WhiteRa was to being out of minerals. He had 45 minerals left. Wow. And NightEnD was going for more of a long route. He went ahead and got that expansion, and that 400 mineral difference, getting that expansion, ended up being, I think, what cost him the game. Not to mention, WhiteRa had crazy Blink Stalker micro back here. He was blinking back, guys. I showed you guys after that first little initial battle they had, actually the huge battle they had. Almost all of WhiteRa's Stalkers were severely injured, but they were not actually dead, so they were able to do a lot of damage, take out the expansion, and then push up in, and that was the game. So, well played by both players, well fought, and congratulations, WhiteRa, on a game well won. Squiggles has left the game.